Hi students, I'd like you to take a look at this argument introduction rubric. Because we're going to be not only writing argument essays, but because we're going to be giving speeches and performing debates or engaging in debates, I think it's important for us to have a structured argument, and that includes an argument that has something or some sort of introduction. Um, One thing I'd like you to know about this is that I have provided a sample at the bottom of this rubric and the sample shows you how I wrote my introduction. There are a few parts to this introduction that I'd like you to look at. You can look at the formatting expectations. The first thing that we would include in our introduction is to provide background about the issue. And in my sample, you'll see what that looks like. What it means, or what it is to write a sentence or two to let the reader know about the history surrounding the argument. We're writing argument essays regarding Columbus, the man, his actions, the holiday. Um, and you write this background because um, you have to give the reader an idea of the issue that's being debated or argued. If you take a look at mine, here it is, background. European explorers during the 1400s began exploring new ways to get spices from Asia. They didn't want to take the Silk Road, so they had to find another way. Christopher Columbus, one of the best explorers of his time, managed to find something, but not a sea route to Asia. So this background does two things at once. It provides the reader or the listener some information about what the topic is. So we know this is going to be some type of historical argument, or at least something to do with history. At the same time, it also provides us a transition. If you look at this last line, Christopher Columbus, one of the best explorers of his time, managed to find something, but not a sea route to Asia. This line here, he managed to find something. Later, I'm going to refer to him landing in the Bahamas and then taking over the lands of the Taino people, making them work. Um, it's something I could do, or I could explain how he found the Bahamas and then used that discovery to the advantage of Europe. But it's something to get me transitioning to my next, you know, I guess, part of the argument. So that's the background piece. There's also this piece called a thesis statement. Uh, it's a topic sentence. It's in this case, it's your position. It should be short, and your thesis is going to state your position, whatever your position is, whatever stance you're taking, whatever side you're taking, whatever you believe, your opinion. This thesis is your position. It's going to be a sentence long, and it's not going to be a list. And let me show you what my thesis looks like over here. You can see that it is a sentence long, and it states, and it looks like this: Christopher Columbus deserves to be celebrated for all that he did to help the eastern part of the world meet with the western part of the world. That's my position. And throughout my essay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to defend this position with reasons. I'm going to give you reasons for why he should be celebrated. But my position, my thesis is that he should be celebrated for all that he did to help the eastern and western parts of the world meet. The last thing that I'm going to do in my introduction is include reasons. Uh, the reason we put reasons in the introduction is to give the reader or the listener an idea of what they're going to hear throughout the argument. It's really, I guess, a preview. You can consider it that. One or more reasons will be stated that explain why you are taking that position. The explanation will be short and concise. And here are my reasons. Columbus was responsible for the exchange of items from east to west and from west to east. That's reason number one, why we should celebrate him for all that he did to help the eastern part of the world meet with the western part of the world. And reason number two, Christopher Columbus opened the door for more explorers to travel from Europe to the Americas. So I want you to notice something here. My reasons, they're directly connected to my thesis. My thesis is that Columbus deserves to be celebrated for all that he did to help the eastern and the western part of the world meet. Now I have to have reasons for supporting this thesis. Um, Reason number one is the reason we should celebrate him is because he was responsible for the exchange of items from east to west. And reason number two for why we should celebrate him is because he opened the door for more explorers to travel from Europe to the Americas. I'll repeat that again. My thesis is that we should celebrate him. Okay? My reasons for us to celebrate him are two. He's responsible for the exchange of items from east to west and from west to east, and he opened the door for more explorers to travel from Europe to the Americas. I want you to understand that the reasons are connected to my thesis. My position is that we should celebrate him, and my reasons explain why we should celebrate him. When you write your argumentative essay, you have to make sure, this is probably the most important thing that I'm going to eventually teach you in person, of course, that the thesis you have, or the position you have, has to be connected to your reasons. Your reasons have to be connected to your thesis. So if my thesis is we should celebrate Christopher Columbus, if that's my position, I have to have reasons for that position. And these are the reasons I have for my position or thesis, which is that Columbus should be celebrated. I want you to take a look at this. This is my introduction put together as a whole. You'll notice here that I've kind of, broken it up into the three parts of the introduction: the background, the thesis, and the reasons. I'd like you to read this introduction as it is as a whole, as I read it to you, because you'll get a feel for what it's like when you make an argument in the form of a debate or a speech and you actually speak it. Because the reason we're writing these introductions is not just for the sake of having a structured and organized essay, it's because that when we speak our arguments or debate, we should have a way of organizing for people to listen to as well. Here's my sample introduction. Please follow along. European explorers during the 1400s began exploring new ways to get spices from Asia. They didn't want to take the Silk Road, so they had to find another way. Christopher Columbus, one of the best explorers of his time, managed to find something, but not a sea route to Asia. Christopher Columbus deserves to be celebrated for all that he did to help the eastern part of the world meet with the western part of the world. Columbus was responsible for the exchange of items from the east to the west and from the west to the east. In addition, Christopher Columbus opened the door for more explorers to travel from Europe to the Americas. So, you see here we have some background to provide our reader or our listener an understanding of what this argument may be about, to understand the issue that's being debated or argued. We have a thesis which states our position. My thesis is that Columbus deserves to be celebrated. And then we have reasons to support the thesis. Here are my reasons for why Columbus should be celebrated. I want you to think about that as you write your essays. Okay? Please write your introduction to your Christopher Columbus argumentative debate essay using this rubric. Please again only write the introduction today. Thank you.